Here with example one, everyone, we do have the profit function for something. It is given by that function where we are asked to find the number of units that give the maximum profit and find the maximum profit. We are also asked to determine if we are asked to produce 2,000 units, should we, 3,000, 4,000, etc., and why or why not. So as I've done in the past, in the previous one, I don't feel like typing this out. So I'm just going to copy the piece that I want. Again, Wolfram would kind of trip out if I put this in there, so I'm only going to copy this piece. I'm going to drop that right into Wolfram after I type the word maximize. So again, maximize is finding the highest point on a frown-faced arc, and we'll see that in the graph that Wolfram is going to provide here as well. You'll see that this red point right here is at the very, very tippy top. Now let's follow this graph as we produce units here, okay? So if we produce 0 units, obviously we're not going to make any profit because, well, you're not selling it. Or if we sell 0 units, we're not going to make any profit. So as we start producing and selling things, we start to make profit. We are happy. We are happier, 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 happiest. This is where we need to stop, because if we keep producing units, we become sadder and sadder and sadder and lose more money, and we are sadder and sadder and sadder and sadder, and then eventually we go bankrupt because we produced so much that we spent so much money to produce all of these things, but right about here they stopped selling, or we had to reduce our price to get them to sell, and we eventually work ourselves out of business. And so again, we are looking for the place. This is very much like market equilibrium, where we are looking for the place where we are going to make the most money, and that is where we stop. So in Wolfram here, we get a global maximum. And so a global maximum is saying on this entire function, there is only one place where it has a high point, and that is right here. So it's kind of interesting because these things are reversed. Normally we see the x value first and the y value second. Wolfram is going to give us the y value first and the x value second. So if we remember, the y value is always money, and the x value is always the number of units produced or hours or time or whatever. So we need to produce 1,500 units and sell them. And if we do that, we will make a profit of $223,800. So I'm going to write that down really quick over here on my iPad. So produce and sell 1,500 units to maximize profit at $223,800. All right, and I think that's part A. Going back to this really quickly, that is part A. That is the maximum profit and the number of units we need to produce to make that happen. So in part B, if we were asked to produce 2,000, 3,000, or 4,000 units, should we do it, and why or why not? Well, let's follow the graph over to 2,000 units. It looks like that would be right around $200,000 that we would be making. So making 2,000 units we would lose $23,000 or so by doing that. By making 3,000 units, we would actually be putting ourselves bankrupt. We would be back to $0 because we overproduced. And so it's important to understand that, again, underproducing is bad, overproducing is bad. There is a sweet spot in the middle where we are going to produce the right amount that will actually sell at the price we want them to sell at, and that is where we need to stop producing. So I'm going to take a moment to write my response to this while I pause the video, so you don't have to sit through that. All right, so we've got a response to the people that are asking us to make 2,000, 3,000, or 4,000 of these things. The answer is laugh and walk away in a very respectful sort of way. Do not produce more than 1,500 units. More is not always better. We would be basically just working ourselves out of a job, and that is no good.